Hello YouTube. I spend a lot of time collecting back a lot of toys that I owned in the 80s. People quite often ask, are there any more modern toys that you collect as well? These guys are called Crate Creatures, and I was just going to run through all of the names in this video as a resource for collectors. So that guy's called Cross Eyes. This one here is called Guano. It's like a little bat. They're all pretty quirky little characters, all made of rubber, and they make noises and things. This is Flea. This one's called Blizz. There are larger characters as well that have got like fur and that kind of thing. I'll show you those later. This is one of my favourite ones called Snorthog. I love like the little tusks and that sort of thing. This guy's called Pudge. Yeah, what happens with these is if you pull their tongues, they make a noise. Most of mine, the batteries have run out. This is Tugger. And what I'll probably do actually is take all of the batteries out. This is Kappa. I'll take all the batteries out so that, you know, when they're in storage kind of thing, they don't leak or anything. This guy's called Croak. This is another one of my favourite ones called Tenter. He's like a little sort of cuttlefish type thing. And then you've got Sizzle. And then this is my absolute favourite one, this little guy here, just because of his foot with his blue toenails. He's called Stubbs. Yeah, I think that is the whole range of the smaller crate creatures, just these 12. And I've found that it's really hard to find names for all of them in one place on the internet. It takes quite a long time if you want to individually find the names for each one. So I'll pick this one up just so you can see the size of it compared to my hand. Got an on-off switch on the back there. Place for a screw for undoing it to get to the battery compartment. The batteries are just small, you know, watch style batteries. Okay, I'll pull on some of their tongues and we'll see if we can get some of them to make noises. Bear in mind that most of these, the batteries have run out already. They don't last very long, the watch batteries. Okay, so that one worked, that was pretty good. But like I say, most of these, when I pull them, you won't hear anything. All like completely dead. They've just been in my cabinet for ages. Okay, so that guy works. Every time you pull their tongue, you get a slightly different noise. Go back to this guy. So you can see they don't do very much really, you know, just a few simple noises. But I didn't buy them for their noise making ability. I bought them just because they're you know, really brightly coloured and they just look really good together basically. So I've got them on display in a cabinet, also alongside the larger characters as well, because yeah, crate creatures, they do these small ones, they do the bigger ones. The bigger ones are a bit more interactive. Right, this is what the bigger ones look like. You can see a lot of these are just larger versions of the small ones, but they've got the fur and everything like that. They're quite substantially bigger. That one's called Pudge. If you remember Pudge as a smaller one. I'll put them all kind of side by side later so you can compare them size wise. This is Snorthog again. Do you remember him? He's cool because he's got 4 arms and he's got those little tusks and things. Yeah, these are much more interactive, so their eyes light up and that sort of thing, and they make noises as well. This one's called Stubbs. If you remember Stubbs as a small one, he only had 1 foot. Now he seems to have 2 feet as a large one. But if you look at the shape of that one and then look at the shape of this one, you'll see the shapes are identical, they're just different colours. So this one's called Blizz. He's like a little yeti and he's got his lolly. He's holding his little lolly there. And then if we go on to this next one, Sizzle, you'll remember Sizzle again as a little one probably. But yeah, if you look at the shape of Sizzle, look at the shape of his head and everything, and then you'll see this next one called Char is identical but just different colours. Yeah, I really like these, you know, they're just like like I say, again, nice bright colours. There's only 6 of them, so although they're larger than the smaller ones, they don't take up too much space in a cabinet, and actually they look really great with all the little ones next to them as well. Yeah, I very rarely buy modern toys, but just every so often I see some and I think, they're quite cool looking and they could be collectibles of the future, so I give it a go. And also the difference between, buying an 80s figure where you're paying a small fortune for each figure compared to these guys, which are sort of £10 or less each for these bigger ones, and even less for the smaller ones. Like, can pick them up for like £4 or £5 at the moment. And I'm hoping they'll go up in value, but they don't take up too much space. They're pretty quirky, so I do it from time to time. Here you can see on this label, look, Crate Creatures Surprise. They come in like a little crate, and it's got like a padlock on it and a chain, and there's a sort of a key thing on it as well. I'll show you some pictures of that in a bit. I decided not to collect any of the crates because that would obviously take up so much more space in my cabinet. Right, let me just grab the smaller snort hog. Here he is. And we'll put him up next to this bigger one just to give you an idea size-wise. Yeah, the larger snort hog's quite a bit bigger. Like I say, similar to the old kind of Furbies, I think. There you go, that. Quite a bit taller. What I'll do as well is I'll position all of the smaller ones next to all of the bigger ones so you can see how they sort of double up. Yeah, if you did want to collect these in sort of new condition, still in their crates, with all the padlocks and the chains and the keys and everything and the things they hold, they'd still not cost you very much at the moment to buy them. That may go up quite substantially, so it could be a good investment. I think the cheapest way of doing it though is to buy a job lot and get a load of them at the same time. Right, this, if you remember, this is the guy called Pudge. You've got the smaller one and the bigger one, and you can see they do look pretty similar to each other, obviously apart from the fact that one's more rubbery and one is more furry. Then we've got the Snort Hog one. Again, they look pretty similar to each other. You could definitely tell they're the same character, especially like with the forearms and everything and the big tusks. And then you've got Sizzle. So again, look, very similar looking to each other. The reason I'm telling you this and pointing out that they're all pretty similar to each other is because when we get to Stubbs later, they're quite different looking to each other. So here's Blizz, the little Yeti. Again, that you can see got the little ring through the nose, the white, the yellow horns, blue faces, they look the same as well. So all of those ones, I would say they've done a good job matching them up, the smaller characters with the bigger characters. And then here you go, you've got Stubbs. Looks completely different. Let's have a look. The big one has got an orange nose, the small one's got a blue nose, the big one's got a blue tongue, small one's got a yellow tongue, so there's those differences straight away. The big one's got horns, the small one doesn't seem to have any horns, and then you've got this blatant thing of the big foot on the small one with the blue toenails, just 1 foot, and then the larger one's got the 2 feet with orange toenails. So I'm not quite sure what they were thinking of there, but I don't mind because the small character, although it doesn't look like the big one, it looks really cool. Right, this is what they look like in their little crates when you buy them, so you can't really see them very well. This is the crate for the larger Sizzle, and there you can see you've got the padlock, you've got the chain, and that grey thing at the front, that is the key for sort of undoing the box so you can get into the crate to get the creature out. They did make this other style box as well called a Kaboom box. You can see there it's got like a handle on the top, and it's actually more of a game. So what you do is you have a creature in there that's got all kinds of different like arms and legs and a different head, and it kind of all slots together. You put it in and then you can play this game, and you can push the handle down and explode the creature and then rebuild it afterwards. There were 4 different Kaboom box variations. This one's Stubbs, but you can see, look, different arms, different legs, a bit on top of the head, and it all just kind of blows off. And then if you buy more than one of the characters, you can join different arms to, make up different variations of creatures. So the second one's called Nanas, or it could be pronounced Nanas, I suppose, because it's like a little monkey. But you can see again he's got a silly hat, different arms, different legs. Again, just explodes in the same sort of way. I thought about buying these, but I didn't really like the fact they've got different arms and different legs. I like my creatures to be symmetrical, so I decided against them. Just as well because space is an issue for me, so I try and cram everything into my cabinets. The third Kaboom box variation is called Croak. And then the fourth and last Kaboom box variation is called Gobby. When I looked on eBay recently, you could still pick up all of these Kaboom box figures for about £10 each. And that was new as well, so they came with the Kaboom box. This is another thing that I like the look of as well, which is part of their range. It's called Belly Busters, and it came with like some slime and stuff, and you could squeeze it through like its nose and that kind of thing. And I'd imagine the playability is quite good fun on this one, but it's just such a huge figure. I don't know if I could justify buying it to add to my collection or not. I mean, knowing me, I probably still will at some point. This just shows the back of the box as well. Last time I looked on eBay for this guy, you could pick him up. It was a used one, so probably wouldn't have had any of the slime or anything with it. It was used, but it was still in its box, and you could buy it for £8, and that was with the postage and everything. So I don't know how they really could even do that, but you can see they're really cheap figures. It is impossible to know if you're buying toys as an investment, if they're going to go up or down in price in the future. I think my best advice to everybody is just to buy toys that you like the look of. And then it doesn't matter so much if they go up or if they don't, as long as you kind of enjoy the way they look in your collections. I think that's the main thing. Then if they happen to go up in price, that's just a big bonus. I'm not somebody that tries to get everything in their original packets or boxes, because quite often the boxes or packets end up taking so much space up in your house that it just gets ridiculous. So at least when they're little figures, you can cram them all in together. So this next set of 6 figures are called the Barf Buddies. They're also made by MGA Entertainment, just like the Crate Creatures. This first little shark guy is called Crunch. You'll notice he's a sort of bluey grey colour. There's another shark as well, which I'll show you next. He's called Matey, and as you can see, he's bright orange. Basically the same design, just different colour hook and different colour shark. Then you've got this guy in the middle here, this green guy. He's called Gulp. And these are really cool toys. They're quite small. They're plastic, but really well made. This guy's called Grumble. You've probably noticed they've all got these massive mouths. I'll show you those opening in a minute. Yeah, Grumble's this little orange monster. And then we've got this one. This guy's called Skitter. He's purple. Yeah, I just really love the shapes of these. They're just quirky little things. Especially like these 3 in the front. These are my favourites. This one's called Perch. He's my absolute favourite. I just love the way that like his massive eyes stick out on stalks. He's also got quite a unique shaped tail, which I'll show you in a minute. So if you buy these new, they come in a box with a little tub of slime. And in the slime are 3 of these little things. These are called Puke Pals. And yeah, it depends which one you buy as to what you get. This one looks like a little cuttlefish. But again, I just really love these. They're tiny little hard plastic figures, and they're all, really collectible. This is like a little jellyfish. And I don't know how many of these there are, but this is a little skeleton fish. But yeah, you get 3 with each Barf Buddy that you buy. And because I bought these on eBay, these are all the ones that I managed to get. This is like a little dead bird. And then we've got this, which is like a little rat coming out of a tin of food. I was able to get all of my Barf Buddies for about £3 or £4 each on eBay. And these little things came with it, these Puke Pals. This guy's like a little section of cheese. Like I say, I'm not sure how many of these Puke Pals there are, but I'll look out for them on eBay and buy them occasionally. This one's like a little caterpillar, sort of maggot type guy, and there's a bit of a chunk out of the food that he's crawled through. Then we've got this. This looks like a sort of a monkey nut type thing with a little grub coming out the top of it. So each one of these is really kind of quirky little design in its own right. We've got a little skull here. I really like this one. I like the shape of the skull because he looks sort of a bit cheeky. And then you've got the brain sticking out of the skull as well, which is a nice touch. And the last one is like a little apple with grubs and things coming out of it. Again, it's got a big sort of bite mark out of the side of it. So yeah, each one's really nice. I know there's an eyeball one as well, which I haven't got yet, so I'll look out for that. So each of the Barf Buddies have all got a tail, and when you pull on the tail, their mouth opens, and then inside their mouth they have slime. You can put slime in that little gap, and then you can put the Puke Pals inside that. So I'll just show you that, but while I'm doing that, I'll just thank you all for watching this video. And I hope you've enjoyed these creatures, like the Crate Creatures and the Barf Buddies, all made by MGA Entertainment, all really quite cheap to buy on eBay, especially compared to vintage toys. So check out my other videos if you get a chance, because I'm covering more modern toys at the moment. Hit subscribe to see anything that I post up in the future. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video.